Hey guys, sorry about that. My camera was for some reason not on the selfie mode, so you got a little look at my computer. Um, Hi, it's Jill. I just got inspired to do this because Wendy posted something that she read. I'm just going to read it. She read a book by Dr. Claire Weeks where she heard in her reading of it that the brain can become exhausted from anxiety and cannot take in anything that it's been told. And in Wendy's case, she feels this is true, and she's mentally tired. And I think Wendy's talking about, and hi Wendy, I see you around this. I think Wendy's talking about making it hard to get this understanding because her brain's already so full from anxiety. So, yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me in terms of learning new stuff. And I know when I'm really full of anxiety, that's not the time. I mean, I can't think about anything because there's the, I mean, that's what anxiety is, right? It's our head is full of thoughts. And so it makes good sense that's probably not the time you're going to learn stuff. Unless you're calmed down, which is why some people do say in this understanding too, wait till you have a calm mind or a quiet mind and you'll get insights better. And that's also true. But I've also seen that's not necessary at all. We don't have to have a quiet mind to get insights because, well, a few reasons. The quiet, let me talk about quickly about the quiet mind thing. The reason I know that's not true is because I had one of my humongous biggest insights, I guess you could call it an insight, when I was full up. My head was ready to burst. It was a bit of anxiety, but it was more anger, and being on my last rope, or what's that expression, the end of my rope. I was at the end of my rope. I was mad. I had been up all night because I was mad at something my husband said or did, or I don't barely even remember now. And I didn't know what I was going to do, and I was so angry. And he had gone to work already, and an email came in. My head was ready to explode. It was hurting, and I was just crazy. An email came in from something, and I was on my iPad just trying to distract myself, and I read this email, and it had something to do with A Course in Miracles, and I don't know, I clicked through to whatever it was, and I read this statement. It was like some quotes from Marianne Williamson, who some of you may be familiar with. And whatever I read, it was something to do with if somebody acts like a jerk and then I think they're a jerk, they're just going to continue being a jerk because that's how I'm seeing them. It was something like that. It doesn't really matter what the content was, but something about that, what I read, totally spoke to me in my situation, and whoosh, my head just cleared. Everything that was in my head, whoosh, gone. Like all of a sudden I had this total clear mind. It went from ready to explode to completely clear, and from that clear feeling, I had this, I was put into this state of unconditional love. And here I went 1 minute, and I've probably talked about this before. 1 minute I went from wanting to basically kill my husband and or divorce him to having nothing but unconditional love for him and everything else around me. I didn't see the oneness that some people talk about. I don't know anything about oneness, but I think it's similar, I guess. But I felt that. So, I mean, aside from all the other things that story can tell us, it told me that we don't need a quiet mind to have an insight. It can happen at any time. But the other piece of this, which is what I said to Wendy, is it's you don't need your brain and intellect to hear this stuff. actually, that's probably what's holding you back, is trying to get this. And that's all of you, Jolene included as well. All of you who are posting that you're not getting it, it's because you're trying to get it through your intellect. And that's not it. Sid Banks used to say, listen to this stuff as if you're listening to music. Like, don't try to understand it. Don't try to get it. You're just listening like you're listening to music. In fact, when I listen to videos online, like, I don't usually watch them, I just kind of listen. But I play Tetris I play Tetris while I'm playing. I'm really good at Tetris because I got a lot of hours under my belt of listening to stuff. So I play Tetris, sometimes some other games on my iPad. But usually that's what I do. Another friend of mine, she sews a lot, so she just has stuff on while she's sewing, and that's it. It's background. Like, I can't do other stuff if I'm trying to do Facebook or write stuff or whatever. When I'm listening, I totally don't hear anything. No part of me hears. But if I'm just doing something mindless while I'm listening, that's when it picks up. Sometimes my mind wanders, and that's fine. But I hear little bits here and there, and then all of a sudden I hear something, and I'd be like, oh, I never thought of it that way before. Like, it just hits me suddenly. But it's not me trying to get anything. I'm just listening. It's just on in the background, just listening. That's what I do even with other, like, little videos like this that I'm making. If I was you guys, in fact, when I listen back to these, I play Tetris too, and listen to myself just to see if I made sense. That's just what I do. So that's the key, and that I called that when I said it to Wendy, it's the reason why that works and is helpful is because it's not me, it's not my intellect, it's not myself, like Jill, the persona this character that I play, speaking to Wendy, the character that you play. That we can have a superficial conversation like that, but I'm not talking to that part of me, isn't talking to that part of you. This stuff comes to me from in here. Like, it's not even me. I don't know what I'm gonna say. I have to, like, when I write my blog posts too, I don't know what's gonna come out of them. Like, it's not me. I don't know any of this shit. Like, I can't even believe when I read back or when I listen. That's why I listen to the videos. Like, I don't know what's gonna come out of me. It's because it's coming from my, like, true self or inner being or whatever, if there even is such a thing. It's coming from that wisdom place, that peace place. It's not coming from my intellect. That's why I point here to my heart as opposed to up here. That's my way of distinguishing between the intellect and the, like, true self comes from here. So I don't know what I'm I don't know what I'm talking about. Like Jill doesn't know any of this stuff. But my true self, my inner guide, knows it all, knows much more than I can even imagine. That's still to probably hit me as an insight someday. It knows everything because it's attached to the whole of it all. So that's what's speaking to you. It's not Jill speaking to Wendy. It's the true self speaking to your true self, which is actually the same thing. Like, and your true self already knows this stuff too. All of you, it knows this already because it knows everything. But it's just, I don't know, maybe just needs to wake up or hear it again, or it just get like, oh yeah, I know this shit. You guys all know that. That's why I say you guys know this stuff, because you do know this stuff. Something in you knows it, and you don't need to get it. Like, there's nothing to get. That's why I say there's nothing to get. And it doesn't make sense, but if you think of it, if you realize I'm talking about two different levels, two different things, the intellect and the inner wisdom, it's coming from there to you, there, not here to here. You won't, that's a good way to learn physics or something. I don't know, math. From there, we can learn how to do certain things in the world from here. But even then, once we've learned those things, like if you become an expert, when I was learning my old SEO work, I had to learn it through my intellect. But once I knew it, like, it did much better when it came out from here. When I could look at a website and know exactly what needed to be done to get it found on Google just by looking at it because of everything that I had learned previously. But if I tried to think about it too hard, it wouldn't work. And that's why we don't really need to think about stuff too hard. Only when we're first learning. Otherwise, now we just come from here. That's all. I'm talking to you from here, and I'm going to be bruised from all this banging on my chest like a gorilla. I don't know why I'm doing it. All right, I'm going to end this now, and may or may not see you over the weekend. I don't usually do them, but sometimes if my husband goes out, I sneak one in. Bye, everyone. Have a good weekend.